everybody, this is the Weektrend. Hush was released in 1998 and proves once again that if you were a big budget movie with lots of movie star in 1998, chances are your movie was gonna be the shits. And if you were gonna have a smaller movie with smaller stakes and not that big movie stars, you were going to make a pretty damn good movie. Let's find out why, shall we? This is Hush. Jackson has just met Helen, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, and he's going to introduce his new girlfriend to Martha, his mother, played by Jessica Lange. Martha lives on, this farm where they raise horses in Kentucky, and she's a little bit old-fashioned, being very, deeply Catholic and stuff like that. They're gonna have to sleep in different rooms, stuff like that, and she, isn't very happy about, his lifestyle in New York and stuff like that. A crummy place, according to her. But they try to make the best of the situation. She, however, doesn't want them, to leave to New York. And why don't you stay here? This is your childhood home, stuff like that. But they move on, and Helen isn't too excited about, living in Kentucky and, racing horses and stuff like that. But after she has a traumatizing experience in the half crummy, half awesome flat in New York, they decide, let's go there and see what happens. The point is that Helen is pregnant at this time and she doesn't feel secure in New York with, the baby on the way and stuff like that. So they go to Kentucky and start racing horses and see what, happens. Now, what happens when they come to Kentucky is the fact that she so soon discovers that Martha is a bit overprotective of Jackson, and the two women start to rub each other the wrong way. And is there enough room for both of them under the same roof? And is there in fact a psychopath lurking around beneath the calm and collective face of Jessica Lange, or is she just overreacting to things and misinterpretate things? We shall see. This movie had a bit of a tricky start. The 35-40 minutes, this movie is starting with, was a really sluggish time to get through to. And I was a bit, come on, can't we get somewhere in this thing? This movie, well, it has a rather sluggish start, and the 35-40 first minutes of this movie is a bit of a chore to get through, but then the movie kind of opens up and things get a lot better. This movie and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle do share a lot of, plot points and stuff like that. Comparing them, though, it's not a very good idea. It's not very fair to Hush, really. But the thing is that I have a soft spot for these type of movies. It isn't about, nuclear launch codes on the loose or big car chases or spies and stuff like that. It is about, ordinary people and trying to survive in situations that they're not capable of handling. And they're not often, the most impressive of movies, but in the right hands and with the right story, like for instance The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, you can create something that is absolutely amazing. This movie is not amazing, but it does have a really, really, really strong third act. And this is also the home to a twist that comes in the movie, which I thought was, oh. Most people in the audience could probably see this one coming, but I was not one of them. And whenever it happens, I always go, yeah, that was great. This movie is also saddled with two other problems. I hate Gwyneth Paltrow, and I especially hate late 90s Gwyneth Paltrow. This was the leading lady in a romantic comedy version of Gwyneth Paltrow, the worst version of Gwyneth Paltrow you could ever hope to get. And it was a difficult thing to get through. Jessica Lange, she's great, she's fantastic. Every scene that she's in, which is the majority of the scenes, are great. But we also have the limp dick of Jackson. I don't even know who this guy is. I don't think I've ever seen him in one movie, and if I have, he was not very memorable in it. He was so sidelined and he was so uninteresting, and that I had to check what his actual name was before I started this review. I'd completely forgotten his name. So that is not very good. But this movie has a very, very strong third act, with the stakes are raised and you see what this movie is actually all about, and you're seeing what probably most people saw a long time ago, but it is very compelling, and you thinking that you're going to a certain part of the movie where a certain thing is going to happen, but that thing ended up not happening. I think that most of the audience probably thought that this movie was going to go there in the end rather than there in the end. And because they did that, and they did something I didn't think that they were going to do, which I always think should happen, you know, every once in a while in a movie like this, but it never happens except in this movie. But I think that the majority of the audience thought that they have to go here because that is where all the movies go, but they went there where very few movies go, and I like that. I respect the movie for that, but I think that is why the 5.5 IMDb rating is the rating this movie got. It's not going to get that from me. If you're interested in a psychologically complex thriller with lots of compelling characters, except for our, you know, the couple we're supposed to root for, you have come to the right place. Hush is a pretty uncomplicated but very well made and compelling thriller that I thought could have been even better if they could have, you know, increased the thriller aspect of it. And the fact was that because I saw The Hand Rocks the Cradle for the second time about 6 or 7 weeks before I watched Hush for the first time and saw too many comparisons with them, and seeing that that movie was the far superior movie to this, I think that it might not be fair to this movie, but in the end I think that Hush is an unjustly forgotten drama thriller that should be, you know, rediscovered. If nothing else, just for that ending, which I think was very awesome. A pretty well written movie with a strong finish and some pretty good acting in it. I give this movie 71 points. Better movies in the same genre has been made. As psychological thrillers go, I think this movie is pretty damn solid. And as I said, a very strong third act and a very strong finish. So I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.